Hey everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. My name is Mindy Banks. I'm the Flip Flop Chef, and today I'm going to show you how to make homemade pesto, and then we're going to make a tomato mozzarella salad, Caprese salad, with a pesto on top instead of just using basil leaves. So if this is your first video, please hit the subscribe button while you're here. Make sure you go to theflipflopchef.com to join my recipe community. That's truly where all the magic happens. I give away so much free Pampered Chef there, and I have thousands of recipes, so hope you'll check it out. We're going to use Pampered Chef's Deluxe Cooking Blender today, and this pesto is going to come together in no time. First, I want to talk to you about the basil that I'm using. So I actually have a tower garden here, and I'm loving it. We've had it set up since March, and I love being able to just go clip what I need to eat or what I need to cook with, and it is amazing. So we're going to use fresh basil from my tower garden, and we're going to use regular basil and lemon basil. So we're going to put together this in no time. So I went ahead and cut the basil off my tower and rinsed it off, and I spun it dry in my salad spinner. Some of you guys may have this salad spinner. It is a discontinued product from Pampered Chef, so if you have it and love it, I'm so glad that you have it. I hope they'll bring one back at some point in time, but I'm going to show you how to use this. If you have it, get it back out and use it again. You're going to love it. It does come with two baskets. One is a smaller basket for berries, and then you have the larger basket here for your leafy greens. So I'm just going to pop this little handle up, and I'm going to just spin off any excess water that might be on the basil leaves. And then when I'm done, I'm going to press the little button here. It's actually a brake, so it will stop that basket from spinning. This spins like 15 miles per hour, so you definitely want to use the brake. I'm going to transfer all of these leaves right into my Deluxe Cooking Blender container. And like I said, this is a mixture of regular and lemon basil. I'm going to turn this around so I can see the cups. I want to get like about 4 cups, I think. So I have a little bit more than 4 cups. So I'm going to go ahead and put most of this in here, and I'll save a little bit if I decide I want to garnish my mozzarella salad. So we've got the basil in here, so regular and lemon basil. We're going to add in here some Parmesan cheese. So I'm going to use my microplane zester, which is great for zesting citrus fruit, but you can also use it for Parmesan cheese. And it even comes with this little food holder here that you could put a few chocolate chips or a piece of garlic or nutmeg, ginger, turmeric, anything that you like in there, and you can use a little food holder to kind of help you protect your knuckles. But for this, I'm not going to use the food holder. I'm just going to take a block of Parmesan cheese. I keep my Parmesan and my Asiago in one of these reusable silicone bags. These are from Pampered Chef, so definitely check these out. That's the medium. We also have a medium sandwich bag, and that one opens on 2 sides, so it's easy to get sandwiches in and out without squishing them. Connor uses that whenever he packs a lunch for school or camp, and it is great. We use it when we go to the beach too, because it doesn't blow away in the wind like a Ziploc bag. I'm going to just kind of guesstimate here on how much, maybe around a cup of Parmesan cheese. And if you've ever shredded fresh Parmesan cheese, you know that a block is going to last, or it's going to go a really, really long way. So you see how much we got, and it doesn't look like we grated very much at all. All right, and this is dishwasher safe, so that'll go in the dishwasher later. I'm going to toss this in. This is my small flexible cutting mat. I'm going to add about a half a cup of oil. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mix Pampered Chef's garlic Parmesan oil and some regular olive oil. So I think I've probably got about 1/4 cup of olive oil, literally 1/4 cup on the dot left in this bottle. So I'm gonna shake up the garlic Parmesan because there's actually garlic pieces and Parmesan cheese in this oil. So you wanna make sure that you shake it up, get it all reconstituted, and then we're gonna fill this to the half cup line. And I'll pour this in at the end. So I'm just gonna set that aside. I'm gonna add a 4-ounce bag of pine nuts. You can use walnuts too. Pine nuts are really expensive, and I hated even what I spent at Walmart on this bag of pine nuts, but you could use walnuts if you don't want to splurge on the pine nuts. We're going to add 2 cloves of garlic, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to peel these. I'm going to use Pampered Chef's garlic peeler, which is actually a set. It comes with the garlic peeler and the slicer. So we're going to start by peeling it, and we can just throw these in whole, but I'm going to show you the slicer also. And you just kind of rub this on the countertop, and that little silicone tube rubs that paper skin right off. So I'm going to toss that one in there, and actually, just to make it even in my slicer, I'll put them both in there, and then I'm going to only show you just to get it started. So this is the slicer, it comes in 3 pieces. I'm gonna put 1 clove on each side. There's like a little divider here, and I'm gonna place this on the top. I don't need to slice this, I'm just showing you since this comes as a set. But can you guys see how super duper thin this little piece of garlic is? Did you know that the smaller the piece of garlic, the more intense the flavor? I'm gonna toss those back in there because I'm actually want them to be finely chopped. And so those are gonna get pureed in the blender, but the smaller the piece of garlic, the more intense the flavor. So if you want a mild flavor, use the slicer. If you want an intense flavor, use our garlic press, or you can blend it up in the blender like we're gonna do right here. Let's see, we're gonna put a little bit of lemon juice in here. You could leave the lemon juice out if you want, since we are using some lemon basil, but I'm gonna go ahead and juice half of this lemon. And then toss this. Our citrus press goes right in the dishwasher for easy cleanup. I'll save that lemon for some tea. And we're gonna put this on our blender container just like this. If you've never used Pampered Chef's Deluxe Cooking Blender, this is a blender, and like all of our appliances, it's a smart appliance. So it's pre-programmed, but we do have custom settings also. So I love this because the programs that are already here for you to use outside of that custom setting, we have a smoothie setting, which I use at least once a day. Sometimes I have a protein shake for breakfast and lunch, or breakfast and dinner. So sometimes I do that twice a day, but at least once a day I use a smoothie. We have a grind setting, so you can grind your own wheat berries into flour. You can grind peanuts into peanut butter, almonds into almond butter. We have alternative milk settings, so you can make your own homemade coconut milk, rice milk, oat milk, nut milk, whatever it is that you like. There's a heated wash setting. Hopefully I'll remember to show you that at the end, but if not, I have a whole separate video on my channel showing you how to do the heated wash. It's super quick and easy. There's a jam setting, so you can make your homemade jelly and jam. There's a sauce setting, so you can make homemade sauces. We have a soup setting and a heated puree, so if you wanted to use that for baby food or dog food in my case, because I cook a lot of food for Piper. She's down here. You may or may not see her walk around, but most of her food I don't puree in here. I cook it in the pressure cooker, but if I wanted to make it in a small batch, I could do that in here. All right, so there's a pulse and then a custom blend. So custom blend is the default setting, and that's what I'm going to use here. I'm going to just start on 1, gradually increase, and then I've got to pour in this oil. So let's get started. Now, I thought I might need the tamper, so I have my tamper handy. This is so that you can push the food into the blades so it can grab it all. So let me go ahead and push that, and then we'll add our oil. Then you can do that. I don't want to waste this actually. Let me pop this off, and I'm going to scrape this and that little, you see the leftover in my measuring cup here. If I had 3 hands, I would have scraped that in there, but I was doing too many things. So let me scrape off this excess here. This smells so good. So how can you use your pesto? So one way is you can use it as a sauce for your pasta. So if you want to just cook up some noodles, pick your noodle and add this as your sauce. You can even use this with veggie noodles. So if you wanted to use our veggie spiralizer to make zucchini noodles or other vegetables into noodles, you could do that, and just mix those 2 together. You could add a protein if you wanted to, and it will be ready to go. This smells amazing. You can also use pesto just as a dip. You could put it on crackers, or you could put it on toasted baguette bread, whatever you decide is going to be great. I'm going to transfer this pesto from this container into a leak-proof storage container. This is our 3-cup square. I love these because there's a silicone seal, and then the lid clamps on all 4 sides. I have had these for years. Definitely consider them one of my top 10. At any given time, you're going to find 6 or 8 of these in my fridge or my pantry on my counters. We use them for everything, and they're sold currently as a set of 3, and I have, I think, at least 4 of every size, even a size we don't sell anymore. I really love that little guy that we used to sell. All right, this is our long skinny scraper, and I like this because I can get in all those grooves to get all of this pesto right out. And this is a little bit chunky. If you want it thinner, you could add more oil to this, but I think this is gonna be great. I'm trying to get a little bit more off the bottom here just because I don't want to waste it. And then what we can do is we can add 3 cups of water right to this blender container and just a drop of dish soap. I'm trying to get this last little bit out. And a drop of dish soap, and we're going to be able to put this on a heated wash setting. So I'm going to add 3 cups of water, and the good news is there are measurement markings on the side. So I'll rinse that off so I can see. We'll add 3 cups of water and 1 squirt. Well, I did 2 because the first one wasn't, I'm almost out of that. Don't put too much soap because it will overflow if you put too much soap in water. All right, so we're gonna put this on, and I'll probably stop this before it finishes only because it will get really loud, but I'm gonna press cancel. I'm gonna turn this to the heated wash setting. It's gonna heat the water to 140 degrees, so it's going to go between stirring and heating. So let me wash my hands real quick, and I'm gonna clean up my counter, and I'm gonna show you how to make this basil and tomato salad or Caprese salad, whichever name you wanna give it. All right, so get all this in the garbage. So right now the blender doesn't sound like it's doing anything, it's actually heating. It's telling me the water is 77 degrees. So it needs to keep that up to, I think I said 140. And then once it gets to 140, it's going to start blending that soap and water and clean the inside. Now the outside edge of the blender obviously is dirty, so I'll use a washcloth to wipe that clean. Now for our salad, I'm gonna need my cutting mat again. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use sliced mozzarella. And I bought this already sliced, so if you get some that's not sliced, you can slice it yourself. You can use our quick slice to do that if you like, and I have a few Campari tomatoes. Now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna just slice these tomatoes, and I meant to add salt and pepper, you guys. I always see things left behind. I meant to add salt and pepper, but just by the smell of it, I'm not even sure that I need to add any salt, but the pepper will add a little color and a little bit extra flavor. All right, so I'm using one of our coated steak knives, which is pretty much the same as Pampered Chef's coated tomato knife. We've had different colors over the years, so if you have an older color, you might be thinking this is not the same knife, but they actually have a steak knife set, which is this gray color, and let me toss these ends. Whoops, wrong drawer. Now we're up to 122 degrees. So in just a second, this is gonna start swishing that water around, and I'm gonna turn it off just for the sake of sound. But like I said before, I do have a video on my channel showing you the heated wash cycle. It's very, very easy to do. I'm gonna separate all of these tomatoes, and I just had a thought. I actually have some sun-dried tomatoes in my fridge that I made in my air fryer using the same kind of tomatoes. So I'm gonna grab some of those here in a second. Let me cut this. All right, wash my hands and let me grab those. I think it'll make a really pretty garnish to put those sun-dried tomatoes on here. If I can get around my dog on the floor, right? So I'm almost out. I've used these and they're almost gone, but they are so good. So now what I do is I just alternate cheese slice, tomato slice. I'm gonna turn that off just for the sake of not being too loud for you guys. But that is our heated wash cycle. So it got the water to that 140 degrees. All right, so then let me grab a little spoon. And we're gonna take some of this basil pesto. Let's see if I can keep it pretty. Can't. I just dropped some on there. So you're just gonna kind of, like I said, this is kind of a thicker pesto, so if you wanted it thinner, add a little bit more oil. I have a little piece there, it doesn't want to come off the spoon. And a tiny bit more over here. And then let's garnish this a little bit. So I'm gonna put just a little bit of Parmesan cheese on here. I like anything that makes the food look prettier. So we're gonna just do that on the top. And Then I have a balsamic glaze. You could make your own if you like. It's just like a reduction balsamic vinegar. This one is from Aldi, and I'm gonna just drizzle this. I like the top, because it gives you a real thin drizzle. And then let's put a couple of sun-dried tomatoes on here, and maybe a couple of leaves from our basil. I'll pick a couple small ones. Here's a little teeny tiny one. I like that one. Okay, so that's how you make homemade basil pesto. I used lemon and regular pesto, and then made this beautiful caprese salad here. This is gonna be my lunch, so I'm excited to eat that. But if you guys have any questions for me about anything that I have showed you guys so far, please feel free to reach out. I'm gonna put a little bit of cracked pepper on here, and then it will be perfect. I hope that you will join my recipe community. Like I mentioned before, I have thousands of recipes. I give away at least once a week, and there's just so much great things happening there. So I hope to see you there. You can find it by going to theflipflopchef.com, click the button at the top of the page to join my group, and you'll have access to all the great stuff. So I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.